Todo a Cristo yo me entrego con el fin de serle fiel. Para siempre quiero amarle y agradarle solo a él. Yo me rindo a él. Oh, yo me rindo a él. Todo a Cristo yo me entrego.
Welcome to another piano lesson with Warren. My name is Warren Macpherson. Thank you for joining me here today for another tutorial breakdown. As you can see, I'm wearing my sunglasses again. Apparently, what I thought was just dust in my eye from last week turns out to be a sty. Now, this is a whole new thing for me. I've never experienced this before, but it's basically a pimple that's like underneath the eyelid, and it makes your eye all swollen and red. Nothing serious, but it's a little bit resilient. It takes a while to clear up on its own. So I'm about 80% there, but not quite as yet. So I'm wearing the sunglasses this week. Hopefully next week, when I'm back on, I should be able to look at you guys directly in the camera without the sunglasses. Now, put that aside. Today we're going to look at a breakdown by Mr. Rodney East. Brilliant player, brilliant arranger, and a producer. All of that stuff. Has a very unique style. If you guys don't know of his stuff, go check him out. You'll see a link in the description of this video that takes you to the full recording or video of actually this song that we're going to break down today. The Spanish version of I Surrender All. Very intricate arrangement, very advanced, a lot of interesting chords and voicing and just movements. And so someone sent this to me and said, hey, can you do a breakdown of this? And I said, okay, let me take a listen. So I reached for my headphones and I've been shedding this stuff. And it's pretty enlightening just to get into the mind of how Rodney thinks and how he comes up with these progressions and voicing. Very brilliant, very brilliant. So I'm going to share what I have discovered with you guys today in this tutorial. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. Now I'll try my best to explain to you not only the chords that he's playing, but sort of the theory behind it. Again, just want to preface this by saying this is an advanced composition, an advanced analysis. So if very quickly things starts to go over your head, don't feel too bad. It is definitely up there in terms of advanced arrangement. All the concepts we've been talking about in advanced piano is executed in this song. It definitely goes way beyond the typical 2-5-1 passing, tritone sub here and there. There's a lot of modal mixture that's going on. Lots of modal mixture. All right, enough of me talking about it. Let's dive into it. And I'm just going to play bits at a time and then we pause it and discuss what's going on there. It also helps if you know the song already, especially familiar with at least the basic progressions, then you can see where he deviated and make changes. So the song is in the key of E major. But as you'll quickly see, Rodney's actually using basically every chord on the piano, every key. You know, and that's why it's a more of a modal composition, modal arrangement than diatonic. But I just wanted to establish that the key center that he's playing in is actually E. But it goes between major, minor, and all the various modes very quickly. Let's take a listen.
Todo a Cristo yo me entrego con.
All right, let's take those first 10 seconds. You know? Da, da, da. That's the first half of the song. So he starts on the 1, all to Jesus. But instead of coming back to 1, as we would in the standard progression, all to Jesus, I surrender all. That which I just played is just 1, bouncing it to 4, to 1, to 5, to 3 sus, 3 dominant to 6. That's not what Rodney did. He did all to Jesus, and he resolved that to the 6, which is the relative minor for the E, C sharp minor. Still harmonizes the melody. All to Jesus, all to Jesus. Now instead of going I to go to the 5, he harmonized that with the 7 because he's setting up to go to that 3. So he's substituting that 5 with the 7. Now stick with me. We're in the key of E. So when I say 7, I'm referring to D sharp. Now we know that the diatonic chord, the diatonic 7 is supposed to be a minor 7 flat 5. And so Rodney's pulling the minor instead of the minor 7 flat 5. So he's introducing this B flat, which is not even a part of the key. You know, so this right here already takes us out of the key of E. Let's look at that again. All to Jesus. Does this nice turn. You know, because we got a D sharp minor 7. Then we go to the 3 as a sus, but instead of resolving it to a Jesus, I surrender. All to Jesus, I surrender. Instead of resolving that to a dominant 3, he resolved it to C sharp diminish. I mean, not C sharp, C diminish. But you can think of this diminished chord as an extension of the 3, which is the G sharp 7. Because if we play G sharp 7 flat 9, we get that diminished portion. So it's just an extension of this G sharp 7, dominant 7th. You could have done, which is just to resolve this to a flat 9 and then go to the 6. But instead of doing that, he just, from the sus to the, which gives it a different, a different sound, to the C diminished. And we know that diminished chord likes to resolve a half step up. And so what he's using right here is a C sharp minor 11th, and he does this nice with the 4th. So we have this nice sort of chordal voicing at the top right here. See? And if I were to play that with him,
todo a Cristo yo me entrego con el fin de serle fiel.
so once we get to, from the 6, now it's just 2 to 4. And you notice I'm voicing, or Rodney voices, all of these chords to incorporate the melody. And that's partly why all of these modal chords work, because he's following that melody closely and make sure that the melody fits, become part of the chord. So like, for example, when we go, da 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 da, right here the melody's on that G sharp, and he's playing an A, so together it forms an A major 7th. It becomes a part of the chord, and this is how you can weave 7th chords into your melody. da 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 4. Then right here he's playing like it's like a 4 chord in first inversion, and he's adding that F sharp, which is the melody, so it gives you that nice sort of just beautiful sound. You can think of it as a 4/6, 4/6/9. See, A with the 6, you can put that B in there, but he drops the C sharp to the root, so you have this nice voicing. So then to a straight 5, or with the melody again becomes a nice sort of like a B6. Let's back that up a little.
Fin de serle fiel, oh, para siempre quiero amarle.
All right, let's take a look at that part. So we have da 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 da. Then he does this nice walk. And drops to the 6. Very interesting stuff. So let's back it up. Look at the original song. What would have happened? Da da da. I will always da da da. Progression would have stayed the same in the original version of the song. This is what Rodney did. So da 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 da. We resolve to the 1. The vocalist goes da. That's what the vocal line does. So you see, when you're analyzing these pieces, you can't just focus on what the keyboardists are doing. You have to listen to the overall arrangement. So I'm listening and go, oh, so he's following the vocal line, but he's now harmonizing this. Look at this nice descending line. Very cool, very cool. So instead of resolving to the 1, that's what the melody is. He reharmed that section, and this is where we're going to get to what is known as a chromatic mediant. Very popular sort of chordal analysis. Instead of going to the E, he went to the C sharp 7, I mean not C sharp, the G sharp 7, but in first inversion. Now, there's a tutorial I have on chromatic mediant, and I'm going to put the tutorial right here, tutorial number. If you're wondering what chromatic mediant is, this tutorial explains it. But in a nutshell, whenever we have 2 chords that are a third apart, whether a major third or a minor third, but they do not belong in the same diatonic key, that's called a chromatic mediant relationship. Because going from E to G sharp, these 2 chords are not diatonic. The key of E major doesn't have a G sharp major or a G sharp dominant 7th. It's supposed to be G sharp minor. So by making it a dominant 7th, we have a chromatic mediant. Same thing, G sharp major doesn't have a E major in the key. So that's why these are chromatic mediant relationship. And as we go through this analysis, you're going to see a whole lot of places where Rodney uses the chromatic mediant. So let's go back. We have then this G sharp dominant 7th in first inversion, but then we quickly go now to the the minor version of the same chord. So he's just changing it from major to minor, but because the voicing changes, it sounds like a completely new chord. Da, 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 to G sharp minor 7, then a B minor 7. Yeah? Then he goes to this chord right here, which is, it's like an F sharp 7, dominant 7, but he put the 7 in the bass. Then that goes to, back to this G sharp 7, but instead of resolving, he goes and went to the flat 7. Resolve it to the flat 7. Now the reason he could have done that is because the melody again is on the F sharp. So he could easily harmonize it. F sharp is a third of D. But then also this flat 7 resolved nicely to C sharp minor, which is where he's going next. Let's take that bit again. We have that chord. Then we have to the minor 5. Then to the 2 with the 7 in the bass. To the 3, the G sharp 7 sus 4, to the flat 7, and then back to the 6. Pretty cool. Let's check that out again. And then, so right there, after it goes to the 6, we go to the 2 again, 4, and then we go to the same sort of hybrid 4 chord again in first inversion. This time, resolve to a flat 9. Then he does this. So what's happening right there? We get to the 6. 2, 4, hybrid 4, 5, dominant 7 flat 9, or you can call it 13th because I'm incorporating the melody, 13 flat 9, and then you're just playing this nice run. And it's like a major, like the E major scale without the 5th, without the 4th degree of the scale actually. So this is E major. So he's just playing it without the 4, skipping the 4. And he starts it with this nice turn. There.
Oh, yeah. Soul,
yeah. And once he drops so it's like a 6, but then he quickly changes it by introducing this A. Then it becomes sort of like a 4 chord in first inversion. Again, one of the signature move of Rodney. He uses a lot of these sort of first inversion chords. Gives a unique sound. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We're on the sort of 4 in first inversion, which you could have done. Da, 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 da. You know, you could have walked from 6 to 4, or from 4 in first inversion to 5 to 4 root position to 1 in first inversion to 2. But he didn't do all that diatonic stuff. He did. Then Very cool movement. Once he's on this chord, now he's going to move, again, melodies on the top. Da, 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 da. And he's harmonizing that. B major 7. A major 7, then to a G sharp diminish. That resolves to 2. Now, that's amazing because we know that the 5 chord is supposed to be a dominant 7th. In all major key, the 5 chord, and minor key, the 5 chord is a diatonic dominant 7th. He decided to make into a major 7. So B major 7, A major 7, and now he's resolving to G sharp diminish. So he completely basically leaves the key of B, you know. And in a major key, we don't have 2 major 7th chords back to back that are diatonic. So this is completely modal right here, you know, it's just completely modal. So anyway, we get to that section. B major 7, A major 7, G sharp, diminished 7, then we have the 2, then he resolve it to the same 2 chord, but this time a major in first inversion. Check it. Talk about that craziness, what just happened right there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So we take it from here. B major, A major, G diminished, G sharp diminished, which is the 3, 2, and then we're on this first inversion 2 chord. You know, it kind of gets weird to use a number system with these chords because none of the chords are really playing diatonic roles. They're all altered or changed in some way. And I'm playing that G sharp, so it's like, you know, F sharp 9 in first inversion. Then he goes, again, the melody is in what the vocalist is singing is in the right hand. That's the vocal melodic line. Rodney's harmonizing it with sort of a descending counter melody. You know? And it's just basically resolving, making it way all down to just B dominant 7. So it's like a giant 5 chord. And he's just moving these lines chromatic. Now, excuse me. Now, when you're supposed to resolve to the 1. Right? 5 goes to 1. Not in the case of Rodney. Once we get to this 5 chord, then he does this. It's a brilliant turnaround. Never seen a turnaround like this, actually. But instead of going to 1, he went to sort of like, it's like F sharp, not F sharp, F minor 7. It's like F minor 7. So instead of going to E, he decides to go to F minor. Now, why did he do that? Or how did he know that would have worked? Again, we're talking about pure melodic harmonization right here. The melody that the singer has is resolving to a G sharp. That means he just find a chord that has G sharp in it. E or F minor. They share the same third. But he didn't just end there. We're keeping it, this is where he's moving it through sort of like an entire sequence of chromatic mediant. So he's doing you can even think of it as a direct modulation to the key of D sharp major. C sharp major, sorry. Because all these chords are diatonic to C sharp. F minor is a 3. Now we're on C sharp. Then the 6. Then the 5. So it's a brilliant shift. If you think of it as a direct modulation to C sharp, then C sharp, what's the relationship between C sharp and E? We know that C sharp is a relative minor for E, but because he's playing all the major notes of C sharp major, then we know that again, a chromatic mediant relationship right there. The common tone in these chords is G sharp. That's how our chromatic mediant works. Usually there's one common tone that can be found throughout all the chords. And Rodney's is exploring that, which is what gives you that nice melodic shift. And that melody he's just playing is all right, let's take that bit. So after he does all of this on this G sharp 7, then he resolves it to the melody still on that G sharp. Da 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 da. The melody's still staying diatonic, but he decides to change it from this chord, G sharp 7 sus 4 sus 2, to this F sharp dominant 9th, which is the 2 chord of E. Then the 7 of E. So basically you can think of it, he's doing a 2, 5 to take you back to 1. But again, he puts a twist and all of that stuff. The 2, but instead of going to a straight 5, he just goes to the diminish, which is again B7 without a root. The melody's still on the top. Da 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 da. Then it's a 4 chord, which is a sort of a in second inversion. So we have the 1 in the bass. But instead of resolving to the 1, he resolves it to the 4. So now we have this nice A major 9 again. So the melody is on the 9th. Da 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 da. Then you see, it's like none of these chords are diatonic, you know, and so it's kind of hard to put numbers to them because they're not really playing their diatonic role. Beautiful arrangement, but that's why I said this is advanced, because if you're not already working with these chords, none of this is going to really make sense to you. So we take it from that 2, 7, 4 in second inversion, resolve to 4, major 9. Now it's doing this sort of, it's like a minor 5 without the third. You could add the third, but I like it without the third. It sounds closer to me to what he's playing. I'm not sure if he has a third in there. I'm just going by my ears, and I don't have perfect pitch. But he's basically doing, and then he's shifting this down chromatically. So it's like a B minor 7, a B minor 11. If you add the third, then he drops this chromatically, so it creates like a minor 7 flat 5.